Hi everybody, let's talk about learning in chapter 6. This is my favorite section. I find it fascinating. Anyways, let's talk about reflexes and instincts. Reflexes are motor or neural reactions to the environment. Like when you go outside and you get a chill, you're like this, or blinking. And instincts are innate behaviors that involve higher brain centers, such as birds building nests. It's innate that they need shelter. Learning is a change in behavior or knowledge resulting from experiences. 2 plus 2 equals 4. We learned that. You can see it, you can feel it, we can do it. Associative learning. Associative learning is in all 3 types of learning, which is classical, operant, and observational. Let's talk about classical. Classical is stimuli or events coupled together. So, everybody knows who Pavlov and his dogs are. But if you don't, let me fill you in. Pavlov had some dogs, and he was really researching their digestion. And there was a noise, and the food was presented, and then the dogs would salivate. Okay. Well, there's a little video that I have posted, and it was brought to my attention that it would be pleasant if y'all had the slides. So I have put in the slides under the module. And so you'll be able to watch that video. And it really talks about Pavlov and the sound and how he got his dogs to salivate. And so how we summarize that is acquisition is introducing the bell and then the food. Extinction of this classical conditioning would be ringing of the bell, but then no food. And spontaneous recovery would be reintroducing the bell. And then the generalization is a similar sound of the bell is rang, and then the dog salivates again. And discrimination, the dog's going to know the difference between like a ding dong and then like the car horn. They're not going to salivate to the dog horn. That's really classical conditioning, and it'll make a lot of sense after you watch the video. Let's go to section 6.3, which is operant conditioning. It's the basics of behavior. It's behavior and consequences. Good behavior leads to good consequences. Bad behavior leads to bad consequences. And everybody thinks about consequences as always bad, but that's not true. Reinforcement and punishment. Reinforcement is positive, happy consequences that you get from wanted behaviors, whereas negative consequences, such as an unwanted noise is removed and then positive behavior resumes. An example of that is like I teach special education, and we have a student that cannot concentrate if there are any computers around. So we block off the computers. Then he can concentrate. I took away the negative to have a positive environment. Now punishment. Positive punishment would be like scolding a kid for lying. Negative punishment would be taking a toy away from a kid for lying. A lot of us know exactly what that negative punishment is. Reinforcement schedules. Continuous reinforcement, a kid sits to do work and they get treats immediately. I do this a lot in my class, especially when they're first starting to come in. They don't know how to sit in their desk. So if they sit in their desk, they get a Skittle. We continue this until once the behavior is learned, the kid gets a treat every other time. That's partial reinforcement. For the next one, we're going to look at the next slide. And this is reinforcement schedule. Fixed intervals, variable intervals, fixed ratio, variable ratio. That's pretty self-explanatory for that. So the top, it says reinforcement schedule, description, result, example. I'm sorry if my video is covering example. Section 6.4. So when you're at the slides, please watch this observational learning video. It is, to me, it was eye-opening and kind of alarming. The basics of it is that the girl in the purple, is in a waiting room, and they hear a bell, and everybody in the waiting room stands up, and she's like looking around like, why are y'all standing up? And without asking, she just starts standing up too, because that's the status norm. And then she teaches other people to do it. After all the people that taught her to do it have gone, she does it. It's crazy. The modeling process is attention. You watch what the models are doing and you do it. Retention is the ability to remember. This girl, all she had to do was hear the bell, she stood up. Reproduction, ability to duplicate the movement or the model. And all hers was just to stand up. And the motivation is the why. She still didn't know why she was doing it, but she did it. Pro-social and antisocial effects. Pro would be encouraging socially acceptable behaviors, and anti is the effects for antisocial is abused children often grow up to be the abuser. Another example of abuse or an antisocial effect would be domestic violence. It has a tendency to repeat itself also. It's a sad note to leave 6.4 on, but that does conclude 6.4. Go check out the slides and let me know if you have any questions. Thanks. Bye.